Valorant's competitive mode is broken. Whether it's unfair rewards, toxic teammates, or just the sheer grind of it all, something needs to change. If you ever felt frustrated after playing a match for 40 minutes only to lose 22 RR, you're not alone. Today we're diving into how we can fix Valorant's competitive mode once and for all. Valorant at its core is a great game, but when it comes to the competitive experience, it can feel less like a tactical shooter and more like a punishment. From RR losses that make no sense to games that drag on for what feels like forever, competitive mode needs a serious overhaul. I've been playing at higher ranks like Immortal, and I can tell you it's brutal, but it doesn't have to be. Today I'll break down the biggest issues in Valorant's competitive system and offer some real solutions that Riot Games can implement to make the game more enjoyable for everyone. Let's start with maps. Valorant currently has a limited map pool compared to other games like Rainbow Six Siege. The problem is, players get stuck playing maps they hate or just aren't good on, which kills their mental right from the start. Solution? Map bans. Similar to Siege, both teams should get a chance to ban maps at the start of a match. Given Valorant's smaller pool, we can stick to 3 maps per ban phase. Map bans would keep things fresh, avoid map burnout, and let people play on maps they actually like. And seriously, how satisfying would it be to ban Icebox? But the thing is, if you want to play it again, you don't have to wait like 6 months, and you can just stop banning it in your next matches. Now let's talk about rewards, specifically RR gain and loss. Right now the system feels super punishing. You can lose 20 plus RR in one match, while a win might only give you 12 to 17 RR. After 40 minutes of effort, that just doesn't feel rewarding. Here's how we can fix that. The minimum RR you should be able to gain from a win should be 17, while the maximum RR you should be able to lose is 22, regardless of rank. It gives players a sense that their time is valued. This would make the system much less punishing and would keep people playing more matches, rather than rage quitting for the day. And if your team decides to surrender, that obviously should result in a 20 plus RR loss, because you're giving up the match. Another major issue with Valorant is the match length. A lot of players I know, and probably a lot of you, don't want to invest 40 plus minutes into one game, especially when there's a chance it could end in a loss or a draw. Solution? Shorten the matches. Instead of needing 13 rounds to win, reduce it to 10 or maybe less. But let's just stick with 10 for now. And overtime could start at 9 to 9. This would shave off some of the time and make games feel faster, and if you lose or draw, it would feel like you wasted less time. Plus, shorter games would make players more willing to jump into another match, knowing they're not locked in for the next hour. On to our next issue, and probably one of the biggest ones, toxicity. Valorant can be an incredibly toxic game. Some of the most frustrating moments come from being matched with toxic or uncooperative teammates. Riot has been trying to combat this, but I think there's a much simpler solution. Introducing the Avoid Teammate feature. This exists in Overwatch, and it works. If a teammate is toxic, you can avoid them in future games without reporting them or going through complicated steps. Riot actually added a block feature recently, but it's definitely not enough because it doesn't prevent you from being matched with those players again. A simple avoid option would allow players to manage their own matchmaking experience a bit better without relying on bans or reports to keep their games enjoyable. Smurfing is another big issue, especially in lower ranks. While high rank players don't deal with it as much, it's devastating for those in lower elo. Smurfs often ruin games by either dominating or throwing, and demotivates newer casual players from wanting to play competitive. Riot is already working on identifying Smurf accounts more quickly, but it's not enough. They need to introduce more aggressive measures like stronger detection systems and harsher penalties for accounts caught smurfing. Cheating in Valorant isn't as widespread as other games thanks to Riot Vanguard, but it still happens. The great news is that Riot's new cheater Rback feature will give players back the RR they lost if they were beaten by a cheater. This is huge. It's a step in the right direction, and while cheating may never fully disappear, this Rback feature makes it feel a lot less punishing when you do lose to one. Let's talk rank resets. At the start of every new episode, Riot resets everyone's rank. As someone who grinds the game a lot, it's frustrating to finally reach a new rank just to get knocked far back down at the start of the next episode and then stay there until the next act because I'll become hard stuck again. My fix. Make the rank resets less severe. Instead of dropping everyone an entire rank, why not reduce it by half a rank or less? This way players still have something to work toward without feeling like their previous progress was all for nothing. Finally, let's talk about ranked buddies, which are those little charms you get based on your peak rank at the end of an episode. While it is a nice gesture, it's time for something fresh. We've been getting the same rank buddy design for almost 10 episodes now.
Well, crazy, how can Riot fix it?
Well, they should introduce new styles of designs for these buddies, making them more exciting to earn. Maybe even add effects to higher tier rank buddies so players have another reason to grind through competitive each season. Valorant's competitive mode has so much potential, but it's held back by a few key issues. If Riot can implement these changes, whether it's map bans, shorter matches, or more rewarding systems, competitive would be a lot more enjoyable. Let me know in the comments what you think needs fixing in Valorant's competitive mode, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.